Hey guys, it's Danny. Alrighty, today we are taking care of my Vanda Orchids. I think it's time to show them some love and try to make up for all of the mistakes that I actually did with them this year. So as you can see, I'm already showing you what I'm about to do with them. I have been set on purchasing wooden baskets for them for a few months already, and I already told you in my video in which I showed you how I burned them, I told you that in the end I'll just go ahead and purchase these types of baskets and call it a day. Because disturbing the root system way too often is seriously not okay. That's exactly what I did this year. So I just wanted to go for a setup that I just know will last me at least a few years, and that's what I did. However, though, the surprise of today is actually the fact that these baskets were provided by rePotme.com. Now, I showed you a few hints these days, and so many of you were very excited when you heard about them. And trust me, I was very excited when they wrote to me too. So the idea is that we decided to partner up. rePotme.com will actually send me some products to test out for you guys. Some of the things they have I've always wanted to try out, such as the probiotics, the Quantum Orchid. Remember, I've been talking about that thing for 2 years, maybe now. They also supply the MSU, which you guys already know I have been using for the past 2 years, and I think it's just the best fertilizer on the market right now. And I'm sure those of you who live in the USA already know they are the biggest orchid supply store in the United States. And I've known about them for such a long time. I've talked about them so many times on my channel already. When I started off with orchids, I already knew about them, but of course I couldn't really order from them. And well, it turns out that they're actually much older than me on the market. They're a family business. They are orchid passionates just like us, and everything they do because they understand orchids. That was just a little bit of a presentation just so you understand how absolutely excited I am that a company like rePotme actually reached out to me and told me that their customers actually told them about me, and then they checked me out, they liked my videos and what we do here on my channel. It was just, I am so excited for this, and there are many things and surprises in the future for you guys. rePotme.com does deliver internationally, not only in the USA. So that's great because I don't know if there's anybody else selling the MSU at the moment. So we'll talk a little bit more about them at the end of the video, but yes, indeed, these baskets come from rePotme.com. This is not a sponsored video. I haven't been paid to talk about them or to say something about them, but these products were sent to me for free by rePotme.com. We are going to partner in the future as well with products that I could use on a regular basis, and not only things that I really want to try out. And just like with my other collaboration, I get to decide what products I want to try out. I already have the Quantum Orchid to try out and a few other things. You guys have told me you love the mixes they make, so obviously I need to try those out as well. But of course, if you have some curiosities, if you want me to try some other products that they offer, of course, leave me a comment down below. I would be happy to. So anyway, I think you can tell I'm really excited about this partnership and test out the things that I've always wanted to try out. Today, though, is the Vandas' turn. This was my main priority. As you already know from my previous video on the Vandas, I seriously set them back. And for those of you who are new to my channel, let me recap really fast. At the beginning of the year, I really wanted to make a more elegant setup for my Vandas. I discovered that they do much better for me in baskets. However, I do have such a warm environment that I benefit from a solid floor. So at the beginning of the year, I found these baskets locally. They were not especially made for Vandas, but they were more affordable. So I got myself a whole lot of baskets and I put my Vandas in the baskets, and for the first month, everything was okay. Starting with the second month, though, the baskets started to fall apart because yes, they were affordable for a reason. It wasn't the type of wood suited for moisture. So after just a few months, I needed to take my Vandas out of the baskets, and that was a shame because I did have to break a lot of roots, set them back a little bit, and it was a shame because the Vandas really enjoyed the airiness of the baskets and the solid floor. Then I decided to put them in some sort of decorative pots without drainage holes. I put them outside. Of course, we went to the burning of the leaves situation that you might already know from yesterday's video, and I reached into that level where I needed to leave them just recover, leave them in limbo, like I did with the Tolumnias, like I did with a few other orchids. I concentrated on switching to self-watering just to give me more time and to become more economical with water, because afterwards I could actually take care of the Vandas. But of course my Vandas really didn't enjoy those pots. As you will see today, we're gonna work with them, and I was literally on the verge of starting to purchase the baskets. With the self-watering pots I'm almost done, but luck would have it that rePotme just wrote to me right before I made the first order for the baskets, and of course my main concern was the Vandas. Asked them if they could start with the Vanda baskets since my Vandas were in just such poor condition, and they said absolutely no problem. And here we have them. Today I'm going to show you how my Vandas are doing in the limbo that they have been for the past few months, and we're gonna do them justice. We're gonna pot them, or actually basket them in these baskets, but there's gonna be a twist. As I was telling you, I liked so much how they did in the solid floor baskets, and not only the Vandas, the Tolumnias as well. Remember, I used to DIY a little bit the basket for them. They did so great on the solid floor baskets. Therefore, we're gonna make a solid floor for these guys as well. But oh, they're just so beautiful and perfect. I don't want to damage them. We're not gonna create something permanent, no way. So I'm gonna show you what I intend to do, but first let's just take a closer look at the baskets. So these are the baskets. I propped them up a little bit so I have a better view. This is actually a set of sizes. They have them for sale in this manner, in this set, but also of course individually. I'll link it down below to rePotme, of course, and to the page with these baskets. The links are not affiliate or anything, they're just normal links, and as you can see they do come in multiple sizes. I'm not very well versed with converting inch to centimeters on the spot, but you will have the conversion on the screen. The tiniest basket they have is the 4-inch basket. Then we go up 2 inches. They have a 6-inch basket. Then we have an 8-inch basket. The second to last size they have is the 10-inch basket. And I do believe this is the biggest size I chose for my Vandas, but there is another size, 12-inch. Now that's a little bit big for my Vandas, but these baskets are not only suited for Vandas. You can actually put other types of orchids like cattleyas and pretty much any type of orchid. The idea is to manage in your environment with baskets, and in some environments, pots are really not all that suited. I personally will go with the Vandas and Vandaceous orchids for the baskets, but I did see a lot of other people growing other things such as stanhopias, which need an open bottom to put out their flower spikes. I've seen bulbophyllums, you know, they have this tendency to creep out. So a basket can be a good solution, but of course, it all has to do with the environment, with your availability to water, and so on and so forth. For now, I'm just going to stick to the Vandas, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll extend it to other orchids, I don't know. Along with the baskets, of course, we have some hangers, which if you remember the hangers that I made, you know, they looked very dreadful. So of course I had to choose a few hangers as well. I have the 20-inch hangers, but now I'm discovering that my whole calculation was a little bit wrong. I have a couple of Vandas that could use some longer hangers, but it's okay. For the vast majority of my Vandas, these are okay. rePotme actually offers 2 sizes, the 20-inch ones that I have, and also the 30-inch ones, which I should have got at least a couple, but here we have it. I know orchids, not necessarily math. It's worth mentioning though that the baskets are handmade. So let's take a look at each of them. So if you've never seen a Vanda basket before, well, it is what it says it is. It's a basket. It is made out of wood sticks arranged on top of each other. And what I love most about them is the variation in color. Do you see that? And I'll show you when you actually water the Vandas, this color pops up even more. I really like this brownish color, but in contrast with the more beigey color. Another thing that I really appreciate with the baskets is that they have rounded edges. So I shall not scratch my little hands on these. I can be such a clumsy person sometimes. I really appreciate this. I've seen baskets which were not rounded. If I would have something like that, I would just go ahead and round the edges. Trust me, you never know when you'll get a bruise, and especially if you have kids or something, yes, rounded edges is the way to go. And of course, being that they are baskets, they have an open bottom. So the first thing we'll do is close off this bottom, but not permanently. These things are just so pretty that I really don't want to spoil them. And who knows, maybe in the future I'll decide that I don't need a closed bottom, although I doubt it. Just an observation though, this is just something that I do because of my very, very warm climate, because of my number of orchids, my osmosis water, which is limited. Many factors contribute to my decision. Don't think you need to do what I do. Many people actually leave the baskets as they are. However though, if you indeed have issues maintaining your Vandas hydrated in these baskets, take this as a tip, try it out, maybe only with one orchid first, see how you do with it, and I do believe it's gonna help you out with your Vandas. Okay, so what we'll do is something very similar to what I did for the Tolumnias a few months ago. We are going to put a plastic liner inside, and then we're gonna stabilize it with some hot glue. And as it just so happens, these IKEA zip bags fit just perfectly for these two sizes. Out of a bag, I actually get 2 liners because first we need to cut the zip part, then we need to cut one of the sides and then cut the bottom. And we're left, as you can see, with 2 liners. So if we just separate them, we get our liner. Next thing I do is just arrange the liner pretty symmetrical inside, so I have a little bit of a lip on all of the sides of this square. And afterwards, I'm stabilizing the liner with a little bit of hot glue. I tried just leaving the liner there, but the weight of the water actually made the liner fall in between the wood sticks and out of the basket, so I had to do something about it. So on the screen right now, you'll see how I go about the hot glue. It does not damage the wood. Hot glue is nothing more than silicone, and when it's all solidified, it comes right off from the wood without actually leaving any residue behind. Mind you though, hot glue is hot. You'll see on the screen that I actually use my fingers, but I'm using my nail. Initially, the glue is so hot that it actually melts the plastic. So after I put 3 dots, I wait for the glue to cool down just a little bit and then go ahead and stick the liner. And as you can see, I'm not using my fingers, but my nails, because yes, I did burn my fingers. So hot glue is very hot. You can burn your fingers. If you ever choose to work with hot glue in this manner, please be mindful, don't hurt yourself. Maybe wear some gloves for more protection. Hot glue is really, really hot. So in the end, the liner is actually pretty invisible. You will not see anything on the surface. You will only see it if you actually look inside. And not even then can you actually see it very flashy. It's just there, and the purpose of it is to retain a little bit more water for my Vandas. I do soak my Vandas. This is how I like to water them. However, though, in my climate, if I didn't have a liner, I would need to do so 2 to 3 times a day. Also, I have many Vandas. I don't have enough buckets to keep them soaking overnight, let's say, or to keep them all soaking at once. So this bottom retains just a little bit of water, maintains that moisture for the Vanda a few more hours, maybe half a day. Consider it an extended soak. So that keeps me going for multiple days without having to water my Vandas, and it also supplements the need for the medium. It is very airy. There is no chance of anything rotting or being suffocated or things of the sorts. This is still a basket. We have air movement everywhere except the bottom. But that works out so well in a hot environment, even a dry environment, why not? So yeah, if you've ever had hassles and problems maintaining your Vandas hydrated, maybe give this a go. And if you do, let me know how it goes for you. And now let's go ahead and actually basket one of my Vandas. This is my Rincorita's Bangkok Sunset. This is the setup in which they were. They weren't actually really happy, they were just in limbo, and I do believe it has to do with the air movement that baskets seem to provide. They just work so much better for me in baskets, even though something like this can actually work, and there are many people growing Vandas with their roots in vases and things of the sorts. There's just a difference. I prefer the baskets. So because the Rincorita's is not a very tall Vanda, I can go ahead and put the hanger right now, but for the taller Vandas, I just arrange the Vanda inside and then put the hanger. So to mount the hanger, we will actually need some tools. The only tool we're gonna need is a pair of pliers. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is just spread a little bit the hanger. The wire is actually very flexible, and what I like to do is choose which legs go in front and which legs in the back. So I have chosen. It's easier to hang Vandas if the hook is facing forward, right? So this will be the front, this will be the back. I'm going to position my basket so that the hooks, or actually the loops on the basket, will fit the way that I'm going to bend the wire. What I will do is bend the legs sideways. One to the right, my right, and one to the left. And in the back, we're gonna do the same thing. And here's where a long nose pliers comes in handy. All we need to do is just bend the leg around the loop. We're gonna do the same for all of the legs. And here we have it. The hanger is now mounted on my basket. It's time to position the Vanda inside. And now you need to figure out a little bit how you position the Vanda in regards to that hook. As you might know, I keep my Vandas on proper hangers, which I'll show you in a second. So my Vandas will practically not stay like this. They will be like this. So that is how I shall arrange my Vanda in the basket. Being that these are not attached just yet, and particularly this one, which doesn't have too many roots that can keep her stable, I actually stabilize my Vandas with some raffia tape, which I'll show you in a second. So I cut a few lengths of raffia, and all I will do is just put it around the stem and then tie it to one of the hangers. And yes, I know it's leaning, but we're gonna straighten it in a second. And now we are going to tie it again, but on the opposite side. This is how you straighten and maintain the orchid straighten. So on a diagonal, if you will. And now, depending on the case, some orchids I do tie one more time from one of the legs. I don't know if this needs to, it might need to. Some orchids are okay with only one tie, but I do want to train this orchid to sit straight. At some point, the roots will grow and they will actually attach to the basket, maintaining the orchid straight. So making sure that she is always in a straight position right now, I am ensuring that she will remain straight when the roots will start to attach. Does that make sense? And here's my orchid stabilized. She is as stable as I can make her right now. In a few months, I can cut the raffia tape and she will sit on her own. Now, if you remember in my previous basket setup, I used to use coconut fiber, and that was okay. It worked actually pretty well, although coconut fiber doesn't really hold water. I just used it to make sure that the water actually evaporates by breaking the surface tension. Cocoa fiber is good, but not needed. It has a little bit of a downside, and this is spoiling the water very, very fast. Whenever I used to soak my Vanda orchids, there were always bits of that coconut fiber in, and it would just spoil the water within a day. And that wasn't very nice, particularly because some Vandas needed more frequent watering, so I didn't want to change the water all the time, being that it was osmosis water. So this time I'm not going to use cocoa coir. It's not all that needed. If I discover I liked best how it looked like with cocoa coir, I might put it, I don't know. Right now, I'm just not going to use it. Next up, I'm just going to take my Vandas outside and give them a good rinse. The leaves are a little dusty, they do deserve a shower, but no worries. Outside the weather is really breezy, really warm, everything will dry out in no time. So I'm giving everything a really good rinse, and afterwards I make sure to dump out the tap water that I used to rinse my orchid and replace it with osmosis water. You can see my little arrangement acts as a sort of decorative container, but it's not really. It retains that water just for a few hours, half a day, at most an entire day, time in which the orchid absorbs everything. And then for the next 3 to 4 days, I really don't need to water my Vandas, and they're just dandy. In this way, I can make sure that I have enough osmosis water for all of my Vandas and still use baskets which are airy, and Vandas love them, and they just look so pretty. Look at them. I've always been a fan of baskets. I just happen to really fail at them. But I'm sure these baskets will last me a lot longer. Now, being that this is wood, it will break down at some point as well, yes, but certainly not in a few months. We're talking here about a few years. And being that I'm actually protecting the wood, I'm thinking that I might extend the life of my basket. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? And here we have them. Here are my Vanda orchids looking just super pretty. I'm so happy and so excited for these baskets, and absolutely delighted and honored actually that rePotme decided to write to me and partner up with me. Now, some of you might already know their history, maybe even better than me, since some of you are long-time customers. But as I was saying, the company was founded out of love for orchids. It's a family company. Ruth, the owner, the person who created rePotme, used to make by hand the mixes for her orchids. orchids, and her recipes and what she discovered are still implemented on the mixes they have, and some of you really love the mixes. I'm gonna show you some of the comments you guys posted. I didn't even tell you that rePotme decided to partner with me and you were already excited. There is no doubt in my mind that the quality and the experience is there. On the website you will also find articles, even videos. When I started off with orchids, I did see their videos. You'll see they're quite old videos. So I myself, even from the other side of the world, had something to learn from them. For those of you who want to place an order at rePotme, I do have for you a discount code. If you use the code ORCHIDGIRL at checkout, you'll have 10% off of your entire purchase. Again, this is not an affiliate link. I don't earn anything out of your order. It's just a little perk that we have for you. As I was saying, rePotme does ship internationally, but please make sure you contact them if you have questions, if you have concerns or anything of the sorts, and I'm sure they'll be more than happy to help you out and guide you. And for those of you who are already happy customers, do let me know down below in the comment section what else you guys want me to try out and make videos of from rePotme. I will just spoil you right now. Quantum Orchid, it's happening. It's gonna be next week or the other week or something of the sorts. I'm going to try this out. I've been talking about it for maybe 2 years already. I do have other things I thought about, but I do want to hear from you guys. What do you want me to try out or learn more about? So thank you guys so much for watching this video. As you know, tomorrow I have a day off. I will be spending it potting up my Vandas, finally making sure that they have the life they deserve. So thank you so much rePotme.com for partnering with me and giving me the baskets and just wanting to collaborate. And you guys remember, you have links to all of these products down below in the description. Remember to use the code. If you decide to purchase something, you're gonna have 10% off. And you know the drill, like or dislike this video below, subscribe to my channel for more orchid videos, tutorials, and product testing and experimenting and all of those fun stuff. Make sure to turn on notifications if you don't want to miss any of my videos. And if you want to learn more about everything that I use in my grow space with my orchids at the moment, expand the description, I have everything listed there. And with that said, I'll see you guys on Monday. Bye!